All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this week's edition of the news. In this week's edition of the news, we're going to do some updates on some of the laws that we talked about a few weeks ago, as well as some of the newer ones that are on the plate, both in California and in Washington state. So there's been a lot of buzz around that over the past week. So I thought I would take a look at what's going on there and weigh in and give my thoughts on it. So if all that sounds good, then sit back and relax and let's dive into the news. All right, so first on the list, let's take a look at California and specifically the bill AB 2047 Firearms Three-Dimensional Printing Blocking Technology. This is getting a lot of buzz because it is being labeled as the open source ban, but what's really driving it is it's about a DOJ driven compliance system for 3D printers, and this is why people are saying it's an open source ban. So you'll see here on or before September 1st 2028, the department to publish a list of all the makes and models of 3D printers whose manufacturers have submitted complete self-attestations and would require the department to update the list no less frequently than on a quarterly basis. So the big concern for makers is the direction it points towards a single approved preprint software path, meaning the printer may only accept prints that come from a specific software pipeline that does the screening. Well, why does this matter? It potentially could squeeze out third-party slicers like Orca Slicer, Prusa Slicer, or any custom workflows that people have. It can push vendors towards a closed ecosystem versus an open ecosystem, as we've been accustomed to up until this point. And even some of the major, bamboo studios and those out there have some roots in some of this open source stuff. So I think the key takeaway here is California isn't banning open source as a philosophy, but the direction that this bill is going towards sure does start to bleed into that category, at least as it pertains to 3D printing. So where is this bill now? It is now pending referral, meaning it hasn't gone to any committees or anything like that. So it's basically this, amount of text aimed at, again, curbing, ghost guns and different things like that. But this could put a hindrance on open source slicer technology for 3D printers, at least in the state of California. And here we are on a familiar page that we've been on before, looking at the bill in Washington, HB 2321, which we have looked at before. Still in the same spot that it was before. Or actually, I think it's moved to committee. I think it was just introduced the last time that we looked at it, but now it is in committee. So what's new on this one is getting some traction, or just some folks talking about a ban of offline printing. And if you remember from the last time that we looked at this bill's core idea is printers sold would need blocking features for 3D printers. So similar to California, but maybe a little different approach there, where they're trying to have some sort of, bot or something on there to, inhibit you from printing a ghost gun or whatever. And the reason why people are saying that this is an offline ban is because it's really gets down to how they're going to do this. And if you remember in the last edition of the news when we talked about this, we talked about the how, being some sort of update to software that needs to be continuously updated. And I think if you read in the actual text of the bill in here, it talks about it needs to be updated at least once a year. So the only way that you could feasibly update something once a year is to make sure that it is online. So I believe that is the reason why it's getting the buzz of being a offline printing ban, which is a great thumbnail for sure. But basically, that is getting down to the core of how they might do this. And if you remember, that was one of the challenges that I brought up before is like, how are you actually going to do this without infringing on people's, rights and civil liberties? And I believe let's take a look at where it is at today. And I believe it is in a committee. And it is in the Civil Rights and Judiciary Committee is the specific committee that it is. Yeah, there it is, Civil Rights and Judiciary. So the folks in the Washington State Judiciary and Civil Rights Committee will take a look at this and take a look at hopefully the how this is provisioned and how that might move forward. So take a look at that and pay attention to that. And really the offline ban or whatever really gets down to how are you going to update the software that bans the, ghost gun G code from going in there, which again, nobody's proven that they could do that yet either. So I think that's why these are still, I think the California is waiting for a committee and this one went directly to Civil Rights and Judiciary Committee. So it'll be interesting to continue to follow the quest on there. I saw a lot of, a couple of viewers sent in emails on some of the great, thumbnails that people have made on offline bans and, open source bans and everything like that. But if you read into these things a little bit, they do touch on those things, but I don't think it's necessarily an open source ban. All right. So, what are my thoughts on open source going away and you can't turn your printer internet connection off and you need to buy these 11 things right now? I think it's kind of ridiculous. I think a little bit of it's a bit clickbaity, to be completely honest. Do I think that there's things out there to pay attention to? I sure do, but that doesn't mean that I need to clickbait and scare the heck out of everybody. So I do think that the legislation that's going on is important to take a look at. It's also interesting to see how it goes through the process. Like, some of this stuff hasn't even gone to committee. I'm not sure that everybody that made a video about the 11 things that you need to buy before it bans understands what going to committee is, or maybe understands the whole process of something becoming a law. So I don't think that we need to run out and batten down the hatches or do anything crazy like that. But if you do have an opinion and you do live in California and you do live in Washington, then I would reach out to your representative and make sure that they know what your opinion is. It looks like everything is up for debate and for discussion. People put, laws out there all the time. And I think it's good for discourse and everything like that. And I don't think it's a good time to make everybody afraid of the process. So if you do live in California or Washington or in a state where some of these laws are coming up, get involved. Be the change that you want to see. Don't run around and try to scare everybody. That's going to do it for us today. If you like today's video, be sure to smash the like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. It's going to do it for us today. Thanks for watching.